In lesson 5, we have created a photo gallery animation, and in that animation, we have animated individual images. So let's assume, what if we have number of images? In that case, it would be extremely difficult to animate every image. So we use sequence layers. As in this composition, we have imported few images and have put them on the timeline. Now I want to create photo gallery animation once again. So I want to first reveal this image, then this one, and then this one, and so on. So to use sequence layers, always select layers in same order in which you want to reveal them. Now trim these layers on 4 seconds. Keeping them selected, go to Animation, Keyframe Assistant, Sequence Layers. Check on this overlap option. It will allow layers to overlap to each other to create transition. If we uncheck it, rather than overlapping, layers will be adjacent to each other. We will see it after creating this animation. From here, we can choose overlap timing. That is for how much time one layer should overlap to another layer. If we keep long overlap time, transition between the layers will be long. So let's keep it to 1 second only. By this menu, we can choose transition type. Let's set it to cross dissolve. Just OK it. So now whole images have been shifted and it has created our photo gallery animation. Since we have set overlap timing to 1 second, so each image will stay for 3 seconds and then it will dissolve to another image. Let me undo it. Now let's change order of selection. Go to Animation, Keyframe Assistant, Sequence Layers. Keep everything same, just OK it. And now first image will be disappeared. Why is that? Actually, our transition is dissolving front layer into back layer, and there is no background image for it. So our transition has set its opacity value to 0. Just increase it to 100. Now it will work absolutely fine. But instead of this, we have another way. We can just change its transition type to dissolve front layer. And now we need not to change anything. It will work fine. Now let's see another example. Create a new composition. Now let's create a rectangle. Just double click on it. Now we are going to animate scale property. Unlink it. And now I want to scale it on x-axis in such way that when we duplicate it 8 times, it will cover whole screen. So here is new way to assign value. Since we want to have 8 copies, so just enter 100 divided by 8. And After Effects will calculate it. It's 12.5. Now if we duplicate it 8 times and put each layer adjusted to another, it will fill whole screen perfectly. Now using pan behind tool, set its anchor point to its bottom. And now move it to left side. Add a keyframe to it and scale it to 0 on y-axis. Zoom timeline and move to 1 second. Again set its value to 100. Now apply easy ease on these keyframes. Now using graph editor, make it fast at start point and make it slow on end point. Let's preview it. Fine. Duplicate this layer. Now pick it near to this corner point and move it holding down Ctrl or Command key so that we can perfectly snap both layers. Now just repeat the same process and duplicate it 8 times to cover the whole screen. So all shapes will animate together. Alright, now zoom timeline, go to 5th frame and just trim all layers. Now select all layers one by one from the bottom by holding Ctrl or Command key. Let's use sequence layers. At this time, uncheck this overlap option. Just OK it, and it will put each layer after 5 frames. It will not overlap them. Zoom out timeline. Place playhead to the last of the composition and press Alt or Option key plus right square bracket key, and it will stretch these layers. Let's preview it. So it will generate a new animation pattern, and we need not to animate them individually. Let me undo it. Now if you want to make it fast, just trim these layers on 2 frames. Use sequence layers again. Now just increase timing of these layers. Preview it. So our animation will become some fast. And obviously you can play tricks on it. So let's pre-compose these layers. Call it sequence. Now take text tool and click on the screen. Now type whatever you want. Increase its font size and put it to the center of the composition. Now I want to reveal this text with this animation. So duplicate it and put it over to the text. And I'm going to use alpha matte on this text layer. So it will reveal this text with this animation. In next lesson, we will do a small project that is shape morphing animation.